Hello, hello, hello. So, have you heard of our Lord and Savior, the Bitty God? Well, look no further, for it is I, KaboChama. But you can just call me Daddy. So, whenever you get on all fours to address me, just keep in mind that my pronouns are they, them. Alrighty, class. Thank you for all coming. Please take your seat. Hi, Professor Kabo Daddy. Yes, that's me. Hello everyone. As we all know, today is KaboClass, and our topic today is round of applause, please. Or not, I guess not round of applause. Drum roll. That's the word. Drum roll, please. Female Anatomy 101! Yay! I hope everyone is ready. Because it's gonna be great. I'm really excited about it. I'm actually, I've been waiting, for these few images to come up on my email because I emailed myself some images that we're gonna study, but it looks like it's not really happening. So, which is also why I don't have a template for you guys, but it's just gonna be a study anyway, so like it's not gonna be that big of a deal. So I have the images already up right here. Let me actually just like kind of do this a little bit. Oof. Oof. Okay. And this is gonna go over here. And this is gonna go down here. And now I can see everything, and everything's great. Oh, goodbye, Bubby. Goodbye. Bubby decided to leave us. That's okay. Anyway, I'll bring this over here for you guys to see. Actually, you can't see anything, can you? They like updated OBS, and I haven't done KaboClass since, so I have to delete this. Display capture, yes, and then I have to add a new one. Okay, display capture. Sure, display capture 2. Oh god. Okay. No. This one is better, yes. But we also have to go in and do this. Properties. Actually, no. We have to do filters. We have to do a crop filter. Yes, and we could do the bottom by 40, I think it was. Yeah. Cool. And then you resize it to fit the whiteboard. Yay! And do a little smaller. Okay, you know what? It's good enough, right? So, this is today's KaboClass. We're gonna be doing this. This. Yay! We quickly had a tech tutorial part of class, of course. I mean, it can't be class if there's no, you know, tech issues, right? Anyway, so we're gonna be doing this. Actually, I'm gonna see if I can like copy this image. This image is by this person. This person. So just, you know, reference. That's what we're doing. I'm gonna try and go boop. Alright. And need to grab this. No. Whee! Okay. I'm gonna put my reference over here because I am left-handed. So I gotta use the left-handed space for when I draw. Alright, I'm gonna call this ref 1. Ref 1. I know I should have done this beforehand, but you can shut the book up because I'm the teacher, you're not, okay? So, yeah. Here we go. I charged my pen so we could do stuff. So, if you have seen any of my other tutorials, shuts up, good. If you've seen any of my other tutorials, we're going to be doing stuff that is highly based on Anatomy 101 and also Gesture 101. So if you're unfamiliar with those and you're a little lost, I would suggest hanging out and going to find those on my YouTube to rewatch them. They will give you the insight you need. I will send a link. Hold on. What is my YouTube actually? That's a good question. Hold on. YouTube. Here we go. Okay. Let me go to my channel. And I'm gonna pop the link in chat, okay? I'll give you guys the link to the KaboClass playlist. Here you go. I'm gonna pin it. Okay, it's pinned. Bam. Okay. So, you guys should be good. Should be able to follow that pretty nicely. After this will also be uploaded to YouTube, so no worries. Anyway, let's get started. So, the thing about female anatomy... Wait, also was that Bubby meowing in the background? I can't hear her. Is it Bubby meowing in the background? Bye! Honey! It might have been shit, but she's not doing it now, so... She'll be fine for like an hour and a half. So the thing about female anatomy is that usually, you know, if you've ever seen a female before, which I hope you have, you will notice that, of course, females, like body fat ratio is higher than a man's body fat ratio, and that usually gets collected around the chest area and the hips. The pelvis bone is also slightly different. It's slightly wider than the male's pelvis, so that will give you a wider hip area, like crotch hip area. So that's what we're really gonna focus on, because, you know, we can talk about like arms and legs and whatever all day long, but in reality they're like pretty much the same on a man and a woman, you know. But we're gonna focus on the differences. So what I want to do is I want to focus on like a specific one of these images, one that really like stands out to me. And I don't want to make it super hard for you guys, so I'm not gonna pick this one, even though this one's the one that I would go to first. Or this one, because this one's pretty difficult as well. I'm thinking of either doing this one or this one, because they're pretty straight on. We could also do that one. Or we could, you know what? We could just do all of them. Why not? Let's start with this one, because this is the most like straightforward, forward-facing one that we have. So I'll do this in red so you can see. This one right here. We're gonna do that one. Okay? So we're gonna start off with our gesture drawing, of course. So we have a line of action. It's pretty simple. It's basically like that. And then I like to draw where the... So I just did like boop, like that. Like boop. See how that's kind of the same. And the next thing I'm gonna do is do like that. And then also that. Oh! Okay, so it's pretty straight across. And then the hips are slightly like this. So then what we gotta do is build the chest bone off of that. That's usually where you would go next. So we have like a rib cage. What helps me is I like to draw like the ribs coming up like this, because it gives me like a fuller view almost of the ribs. And then of course, you know, we have like the neck muscles up here. We have like the arms. I'm going like this. And this one's coming like kind of behind. And then I'm gonna follow this. We're gonna do the hips. A lot of times people do hips as like this like box. Like this. And that's where people base their stuff off of. Actually, I might have made this box a little too this way, so I might have to push it back this way. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna go like this. Okay, and then usually what I do next is I kind of connect. I do like this like V thing. So technically there's a V that comes like this from each side of the hip down to the center of the box. And then I also like to do a V like this. And I'll kind of get my abs in the correct area. And the rest of it is just like attaching the hips to the correct place. Like this is kind of more of like a straightish line like this. And so, oh, is that Bubby? Bubby? Aww. I don't know, I can't see her. Oh, there she is, hello! Hold on, I think I'm gonna have to let Bubby out. I know, you're so cute. It's so terrible to be a kitty and to be loved and to be cherished. It's probably the worst thing ever. Come on, Bubby. Come on. Oh, God. Come on. Okay. I'll get back in my chair. Sorry for the disturbance, class. I promise I will be back and get myself into my prime seated position. Anyway, Bubby's so adorable. I'm glad you like her. She's very cute, yeah. I mean, Bubby is kind of like the class pet, so no worries. Fair enough. She is, yeah, she is. So at this point, we gotta figure out like where everything is in relation to what we've drawn. I actually made the torso a little too long, but that's okay. So this is okay. There's like a few different like fat buildups on like a traditionally female body, and that's gonna be right here, like right here, right here, and then right here. Technically there's like a sub pouch right here. So when you draw like a belly button, it's gonna be like right below this pouch, this top pouch right here. It's gonna be in the center, your natural waist. That's where it's gonna be. And so this is also kind of where you can find your abs from. Are these little pouches right here. So there's, you know, this like fatty muscle kind of right here. There's also these top muscles right here. And then there's one right here in the middle. And then this is gonna be like your like super lower tummy area. This of course is your people call this the oh god, what do they call this? The love handles. That's what this is right here. And then of course up here you have the breasts, but we're really focusing on this like tummy area right here. If you were to draw hips, they would come out like right here, you know, as thick as you want them. So there's this like, this is what a lot of people get a little confused about. There's this divot right here and right there, that is more prominent on some people and less prominent on other people. But this is where like your like stomach connects to your hips, connects to your ass. That's kind of like where that's going, you know? This is where like undies would sit. So just keep that in mind. At some point you can start like erasing all of your bullshit. So I'm gonna erase this. There's gonna be like a crease right here. That's really important to keep drawn. This belly button honestly might need to come down a little bit more. Keep the rib cage in there though. That's really important. This actually needs to come out more. Made her a little too skinny. Like this. See how this is like a little like boop boop? Very important. And so we can see that this right here is our natural waist. Right? And then this is our hips right here. So now of course everyone's anticipated booba. We draw booba now. So they're like water balloons coming from just directly below your collarbones. So if you want to draw your collarbones, you definitely can. They usually follow the line. If you drew a line for shoulders, they would follow that. Yes. You don't have to do this, I like to. Anyway. So, I'm really bad at drawing booba, so we're gonna learn together. I'm gonna refine this line so I know where I need to end my shit. So this, of course, like I was saying before, a lot of this is like drawing your skeleton base and then filling in flesh on top of that, you know? So this is gonna be, see how it like comes up to a point right here and then it like lowers? So it's not like that. It's like this, you know? And like this. But I'm really bad at drawing booba, so I bet you guys can draw better than I can. I've also turned my model. My model is no longer looking this way. They're looking kind of like this way. Like towards us. Like a little bit this way. Whoops. Actually might turn them back. Because that's not how... If I'm gonna be a teacher, I need to not bullshit. I need to do things correctly. Okay, so... This is armpit. This is that a tricep? I don't know. I can't even draw a decent stick figure, so I would argue yours is better. Look, stick figures honestly are kind of hard. Okay, so we have Booba. It's like it droops, then it's round, and then round, and then it attaches to the skin, however the skin works. And so there's like a round, but it comes almost to a point where the nuple is. And so we're gonna do the same to this side, but this side's has a different perspective almost. So it's like this. I don't draw boobs enough to be good at this. God, mine looks terrible. If I work at it enough, I'll get it right. Right now I'm doing like a more stylized version. This goes along with the line art class that I did, where if two things are meeting together, you can erase that line and it'll look like it's like bulging up more. Hey, the booba you drew for my commission looks splendid, so okay, good. I'm glad I did. Alright. I think that's as good as I'm gonna get this one. I don't think I'm gonna do it very well. Yeah. That's gonna be like it. So there's also fat that can come right here. Like a little fat pouch. It's like right here and right here. It depends on what body type you have, of course. But that's another one to watch out for. So I'll just draw them on again, and kind of in a more stylized way, and you guys can figure out if that's what you want or not. The female body is like very much all about curves and like soft, like squishy, you know? And that's like regardless of body type or BMI or anything like that. Women are just squishy, you know? So the pelvis kind of comes down like this, and so right now, right here, this edge is touching right here, but because of our perspective, we would see the rest of the leg, so I put the rest of the leg back here, just letting you know. See, I wanted to do female anatomy for this one because I'm so bad at booba that I really needed to like sit down and like do it, but I wasn't gonna like do it by myself, you know? So I needed like an excuse to do it myself. And so like this can like droop. This is where you see like, you know, when like models suck in their stomach a lot. There's like this line right here. That's why. Then, of course, if you're stuck in your stomach a little too much, I can sit here and watch you draw boobas all day, no worries. Amazing, fantastic. If you're stuck in your boobas too much, you end up getting like these like little side flappies. Like right here and right here. People call them like terror boobs. It's really bad for you. Don't suck in your stomach, okay? It's bad for you. But yeah, so this is where like fat would occur. Of course. Yeah. So if you wanted to make this any different, you know, you could like squeeze the fat up like this, you know, and like make it more like this. And like no booba, or you can like go really ham on the fat and just like keep it going, you know, and like just like go for it, you know. So it's really up to you. Anyway, so now we're gonna study. I think this is really important. We're gonna study this one. Okay, so for this one, I'm gonna draw my my line, of course, and then right here and right here. I'm gonna do this right here to know what angle I'm going at, if that makes sense. So you see how I put this right here, right where the stomach bends? See how it bends right here? There's like an angle. This is the rib cage up here, and this is the fat below it. Of course, you know, that's the hips, and this is the shoulders. But this is important. The rib cage is always straight. If you're doing like a quote-unquote feminine pose, the rib cage is always going to be straight, and then your ass is going to curve back a lot. Very harmful. So I'm going to do that to remind myself. I'm going to kind of do this. There's like this angle right here, and this is straight up. I'm gonna keep on going straight up. We're not gonna worry about the booba right now, we're gonna add it later. And then this is the shoulder. These are the collarbones right here. This little boop boop, that's the collarbones. Now we're gonna do a nice curve. We're gonna come back. And then this is like this. Wait. Huh. Okay, never mind. Yeah. So this is what we have. It's pretty similar to this. I would even go so far as to make this a little straighter, less of a bump. I'm gonna refine it a little bit. Okay, so now I have this. So we're gonna find our natural waist. That's really important. The natural waist is gonna be right here, like kind of sort of right underneath the rib cage. So if I was gonna draw a belly button, it would be right there. Drawing the center of things is really, really important when you do art, so that because everything is centered around the center, of course. So whenever there's a central point, you always gotta draw it. So like with the collarbones, you know, to have the collarbones come to a center point, that's the center of your like your torso, your neck sprouts from it, your shoulders sprout from it, you know, everything. And then down the line we have the belly button, which all of the muscles and fat is centered around that. And then lower we have the hips, so you want to make sure that your hip point connects with your center line, because that also connects with your legs and everything like that. So it's all very important to get the center of each thing down, regardless of if you can see it or not. You just gotta know where it is. So for this one, of course, let's just go in with the boobies. So like I said, it's a sack. You know, it's gravity. It's not gonna be like that. You know, we're gonna use gravity, and we're gonna come in like, you know, it's like a nice little boop boop. But like most of it is gonna be like, you know, it is a ball like this, but it's getting pulled down by gravity. It can still be perky, you know, but it does get pulled down by gravity, you know. So I'll refine it. Honestly, this is a little too perky. It does not look natural. So I think I need to weigh it down more. Usually the booba is lower than your tricep or whatever the fuck this is. So you want to make sure that your booba is below this muscle on your arm. That's very important. No matter how big or small booba are, they're gonna be weighed down. Like this. And they're like attached, so they're gonna like come a little this way, and then they're gonna curve up like this. If you were going to draw a line, you know, this is where that line would be. I'm accentuating this part because this is where all of that weight would be. If you went to the line art KaboClass, you would know this is what's called a weighted line. And if you make something darker and thicker, it will denote weight to it. So whenever something has weight, you want to make underneath that darker and thicker. So, like I said, that's pretty good for a boobie, I think. This is, right here is the belly button, and so, like here, we have fat below it and fat above it, and it all kind of cinches at the belly button. So, right here, I would say, like, add a little bit of tummy, of course, with the women. This part right here gets pretty big. In my opinion, I think it's cute if it's big, because that means there's more squishy. I like squishy, so I like to make mine a little bigger. And then up here, there's also some squish. Like I said, we're working with gravity, everything gets weighed down. So, you know, I could make this like this, but no, I'm making it so that it's weighed down, and the biggest bulge is gonna be lower, right here. Oh my god. Control Z. Okay. Right here. Wow! And then of course this has some as well, just a little bit. See, like, right here we can see this person doesn't like squishy at the bottom, so they did theirs more like this. Like this. Which is like very like 90s anime. But I like mine like this. And then of course we have the booty right here. This is pretty good, not gonna lie. Like, since this is like a flat shot straight up from the side, I think this is pretty good. So if I erase all of my center lines, we get this. I mean, that's pretty good, don't you think? I think so. So, now that we have that, I think it would be smart to move to the next set of images, because the next set has a lot of, yeah, it shows like, fine. Wait for it. Yeah, so this one has a lot of different variations of booba size and body size. So we have, you know, like the least amount of like BMI right here, and then like a little bit more right here, a little bit more right here, and a little bit more right here. This is more like height, we don't really care about this. Basically, just, if you're doing anime, just make the legs longer. That's like it. You can make the torso slightly longer too, but it's mostly legs. But for like up here, you know, we have like, of course there are different shapes of booba and shapes of fat and shapes of bodies. But as a general rule, this is pretty go-to, you know? Like, just like adding stuff on top of what you already have, you know, like building off of your skeleton form. So we got this one, we got that one, this one, and that one. So if we combine all of them, or like if we combine like top to bottom, I mean you can even do like this, you know, you can do like little cross areas. But I think it's really good to be able to draw different body sizes, and you know, because not everyone has the same body. Bodies are so unique, just like people. And it's good to be able to find your way around drawing a, you know, everyone's unique body type. So I'm gonna kind of show you guys how to do that. What you want to do, of course, first and foremost, is draw your structure, which we all know to be just a little stick man, like this. And then we have to draw our Can you tell I'm tired? We have to draw, so this is shoulders, this is hips. We're gonna draw our whatchamacallit? What is this called? Rib cage. Rib cage. We're gonna do the rib cage on top. Rib cage is kind of like that. I like to think that, yeah, I didn't give it away at all. Yeah, no, I'm so like secretive about this. Yeah, like I totally, yeah, no. Anyway, so we draw our rib cage, and of course our shoulder blades, or not our shoulder blades, our collarbone, like this. Collarbones, they follow this, but they go up like this slightly, so that they can meet at the top of the shoulder. This should be at the middle of the shoulder, this should be pointing to the top, because there's a muscle that runs and attaches right here. But anyway, that's a different story for a different day. So, we can of course come in and out right here, having our belly button be that center, that cinch right there, and have this be as thick as you want it to. So we're gonna go from each body size and booba size, and we're gonna just like go up, you know. There's another one. I'm really gonna go to sleep soon, jeez. I haven't yawned like this in a while. So, we're gonna start off with this one. Honestly, I might have drawn this a little bit too big for this one. Like, look at this body type. They're pretty small. So, I would even go so far as to like trim this down. You know? I'll even trim down the ribcage a little bit. Like this. These yawns are contagious. Oh no, I'm so sorry. That's awful. Okay, so this is what I got. And then we have, of course, booba. This person will not have cleavage, but it's a good idea to kind of understand a little bit of where it would have cleavage. So another thing that I forgot to tell you guys is that when you have booba, they act the same as, of course, pecs. Pecs and booba are pretty much the same. It's just, you know, booba have like that little thingy in them that like produces milk. That's like it. But if it didn't have that, it'd be the same as a pec. So I kind of consider them the same. That might just be me though. Anyway, so what they do is they kind of follow the rib cage. So because it's like a big bag of flesh, usually, you know, you would have booba and it would be going like this, you know, because there's like so much flesh and it's all coming down, and that's just how it'll be. But in reality, it's more like going like this, like separated, like that. And for a really, really small booba, it doesn't have enough booba to really like flesh out over that crease right here. So you have to follow this, the rib cage, because this is the skin that it's attached to. And you don't have cleavage, right? You just have booba. And so, you know, you have something that kind of looks like this, instead of something with cleavage that would have like a lot of oomph to it. So, like this. And that's why ladies with little booba have such a hard time like getting cleavage, even with like push-up bras and tape and everything, is because booba is going this way and it's attached to the skin right here. So you really have to like make it go this way and like stretch this skin right here to make it come together and have cleavage. I know this because this is my body type. So that's what this is like. And now we're gonna move on to the next one. Of course, we're not really gonna do much about this part. I guess we could draw like a like this. And because there's like little to no fat, it's really, you know, that's where you get that thigh gap from, right here. Because there's like barely anything there. So even if you put your legs together, your thighs aren't gonna touch, because there's no fat there. I'm sitting over here nodding the whole time. Nice. So, yeah, this person doesn't really have very much fat, so we're really not gonna do much. This is actually pretty intense of like a cinch. You'd probably smooth that out a little bit more, because there's no fat to cinch, you know. So it'd be like this. But yes. So now we're gonna move up and we're gonna do this one. So this one, there's a little bit more booba. So I'm gonna draw a little bit more booba. Actually, that might be a little bit too much booba. I'm sorry. Because in reality, what it would do, it would come down here. It would come down here and make this a little more round, like this. Instead of attaching itself to the skin, it would be like this. So like you could push it together and get some cleavage. You know? I'm putting a little bit more weight to it, not really though. Now I'm gonna refine it with my eraser. Oh my god. This one's a little bigger, but honestly, it's kind of natural, you know? Anyway, then we're gonna go and we're gonna give this person a little bit more oomph. So a lot of times what ends up happening is women tend to, when they develop fat, they're gonna develop it more likely in their hips and their stomach, and their breasts. So not necessarily in their arms, even like they will, you know, if it's like excessive, then yeah, totally. But they're gonna get more bottom heavy before they get top heavy, you know? So we're really gonna kind of accentuate that a little bit. So we're gonna get that crease in there, and we're gonna come out. We're gonna remember our like little fat pockets. We're gonna do this. So yeah, just a little bit more curvy, a little bit more plush, you know? That was a little too plush right there. This needs to come in a little bit more. Because we're weighing stuff down like gravity. But yes, so this is how generally it should be. At this point, the V at the bottom overrides the hips and stuff. So it'll be like this. Of course you can make the hips fatter, you know, do whatever you want. But this is generally the next level up of like quote unquote fat on the body, you know. Like I said, every single person is different. You can mix and match these all along however much you want. A lot of people like really like big fat hips and like not so big of booba. So a lot of times they'll do like the C body with the B breasts and have it be more like this, you know, like that. And they'll be like, yeah, that's it, that's the one, you know. But we are gonna do a C breasts and body. So we're gonna do a little bit more out this way. Of course, we're keeping everything anchored at this top point. So this is where they would like naturally touch at a cleavage point. But like when you wear a bra, they'll like really touch. Of course, depending on your boobie type, you might have more like low-hanging booba. You might have this is pretty perky, you know. These are like standing up on their own, you know, facing forward, at attention if you will. But you can definitely size them down. Or like, you know, make them a little bit more droopy, make them a little bit more further apart from each other, you know, whatever you need to do. Like I already drew this right here. I'll draw it again. I'm gonna add another like this. See, like, so pretty. Unless, you know. Like, wow, women. Am I right? Am I right? I mean, that's looking pretty good. That's looking pretty good. So we have this, which is very C. Women. Yes, me too. And yes, you are correct, of course. Alright, and now we're gonna do D, which is gonna like sag really low. I'm gonna keep this. I'm only gonna add to the bottom. So there we go, there's the booba. So what I'm doing is I'm getting this line right here. And I'm going at it. And I'm like every single point, see how this is curved? It's not like a straight line. It's like curved a little bit. I'm curving it around the body so that I know where my flesh will be if it grows, you know? So that's this body. That makes sense, yes. So, like I said, everyone grows fat in a different part of their body. Mostly women grow it right here. However, usually at this time, because the fat is so is like stretched, or the skin is stretched, so is the belly button. So, you know, when you have a skinny person, the belly button's gonna be kind of like this. But when you have a more plump person, the belly button is going to be more like this. You know, probably like a little smaller, actually. Maybe like that. Like this. So instead of the longest line being like this, and only just like a little bit like that, the longest line is going to be like this. It's just going to be like a little bit like this. Like that. So I forgot to do this for the other body types, but every single time you do a different body type, you're going to change, or every time you're adding or damn! every time you're adding or removing flesh, you're gonna change the belly button shape as well. It just makes more sense that way. Of course, you know, every person's body is different. Maybe this person has a bit more on their tummy. So in that case, you know, you would do more like this. And because the tummy is bigger, it's pushing the fat and the belly button up, so the belly button would actually be up here. Because this is what the fat would be doing. Like this. If that makes sense. Those would be like the fat areas. Like I drew before. So, yeah. I think it's really important to understand how to add and subtract flesh to things, or fat to things. Because if you get the concept, and like the fat placement, or like the places where it's more this to place fat here, or it's more this to place fat there, then you can really like alter your character designs and alter your drawings to be more one way or the other, you know? Like if you wanted to draw someone who's like very gender neutral and who is like has a lot of flesh on their bones, you can pick like two things, you know, to really accentuate. So like one thing that's like more feminine and one that's more masculine. You know, they don't have to be like a beanpole, you know. Just being a beanpole doesn't mean that you're gender neutral. Having like nothing doesn't mean that you're gender neutral. I mean, like, it does, but it's not the only way you can do it, you know? You can have like really, really fat hips and then like also have like enormous upper body, like enormous like triceps and like shoulder muscles and neck muscles, you know. And that's pretty gender neutral. That's pretty equal, you know. Because, you know, when we do male anatomy, I'll talk about where, you know, men grow fat mostly, and it's gonna be, or not, yeah, men usually grow fat more in their neck, their biceps, triceps, those areas, like very top heavy, whereas women, like I said, is like more around the hips, so very bottom heavy. Yeah. So the more you know. Anyway, I hope this was helpful to you guys. I'm pretty much done at this point. I think I've explained pretty much all I can about this. Hope it was useful. Thank you for coming to class. I'm very tired, so I'm gonna go sleep. But I appreciate you guys. If you ever want to post any of your drawings, if you followed along, you can use the hashtag KaboClass, and I'll see it and I'll like it, and I'll give you praise. So yeah. Alrighty, I'm gonna peace out, but it was so much fun as always. I hope you guys have a great night, a great rest of your weekend. I am doing a Genshin Impact stream tomorrow, so if you're into that, then stop on by. We're gonna hopefully this time speed run the rest of Lantern, right? So stay tuned. I might have to make that be also on Sunday if I don't get rid of it on Saturday, but we'll see. Anyway, goodbye.